Hello everyone, I'm Kat with Kat's Semi-Sustainable Life. And I was wanting to show you how I plant up my seedlings. They're a little bit earlier than I would like to be able to plant them up. I was hoping for a little bit more time, but there's a couple of them that have kind of gotten a little bit leggy, looking a little pale, needing some nutrients. They've been outside off and on, so it's not really a total lack of light. It's just it's going to be cold the next few days, and this would be the most inopportune time for me to plant up because then they need more space and I don't have enough grow lights inside. A few more days, I'll be able to put them back outside again and we'll be okay. We just got to get through a couple days of it. But in the meantime, I've got a couple that every seed grew that I put in here, plus maybe 3 or 5 more. Don't know how they do it. Happens every time. I've planted up 3. I just hand write on a solo cup and with a Sharpie and plant up well over halfway up the plant. I've done this for a long time. My garden mix consists of, or when I say my garden mix, my soil that I mix up starts with 2 parts of peat, 2 parts of compost, 1 part of perlite. Then I use a tiny bit of mule team, the borax. I use some magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts, and then a little bit of garden lime. And for a little good measure, just a tiny little handful in the whole bucket of worm castings. I'm going to really check pH and things like that because I'm going to be planting in a couple green stock garden planters. So I'll be checking out the pH and all that just before I put it in so I can make sure everything's cool where it needs to be. I'm kind of like a little chemist. I love chemistry and testing things and all of that. So hence my glaze making and my pottery and all the stuff that I do. Anyway, I have a lot of other things growing here. I have some pepper plants, 1 or 2, right? I have some herbs here and just a bunch of tomatoes because I'm like a tomato fanatic. Everything I cook has tomatoes in it just about. I've also got another big planter with some, let's see, do I have the basil in here? No, the basil's in the other planter. And so I'll be planting that up as soon as it warms up because those are definitely leggy. Like I said, I'm here, East Texas. When I plant, generally it heats up in the daytime enough for me to put everything outside, in the shade, of course. I've put them on my back porch where it's shaded most of the time. And so I don't need the grow lights for particularly long times normally. Last year, if I would have had a garden, would have been crazy. This year, it's been a little more unique than most years. Occasionally we'll get a frost or 2 about now, but for the most part, all the weather's temperate. Even like yesterday, I think we got up to like 70 or 75 degrees. So, you know, it is what it is. And why am I inside doing this? Well, it's a comfortable standing position for me. I can't bend very much. I had a really physical job because I'm a nurse, and you know, lifting and turning people, it wears on your body big time. Anyway, other than that, I just love this space to do my thing. It is, what time is it? 1:15 a.m. So if I'm outside doing all this stuff, the neighbors might, you know, be curious about me. And my garage is full of all kinds of things. Wood turning equipment, woodworking equipment, glazes, now soil mix, stuff to mix my soil with. It's a mess in there. My husband has it organized in little sections, but the sections take up most of the garage in a semi-organized manner. Anyway, I'm going to plant a couple with you, and then we'll probably speed through the process just so you don't have to just look at me planting over and over and over. And I'll chat with you as you're watching this in a fast speed. Okay, so here we go. I am going to start with Brandywine Pink Livingston. And I have 5 little plants in this little bitty segment here. I do a semi-dense planting, or dense whenever they finally come up. And the reason I planted so densely in these packets is these seeds are really old. Like one of them I know goes back to 2005. Let me see if I can find it. Well, I will in here at some point. It is Mr. Brad's Black Heart. Here we go. 3 of them are coming up. It's this one right here. I planted 4 seeds. So far 3 have come up. They're from 2005. They've been thrown all around the house, through garages, through everything. Totally treated wrong. And so far, like I said, 3 of the 4 that I planted, that I had, came up. The cool thing about that is that Dr. Carolyn Mel is the one who gave me those seeds in a seed trade, and she literally wrote the book on tomatoes. Her and a gentleman named Craig wrote 2 different books, but I got to interact with them on a gardening forum, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, I've got, she has since passed away, so these are kind of precious. Those seeds are. Okay, so I'm going to get started. Okay, maybe you can see a little bit better now. I'm going to put this one in here. Roots. I'm going to pack it down in there and go up to its little bottom there. I'm going to put this one in. See the root system here? Sorry, little mater plant. Now, it's not going to kill me if these don't all make it, because I think I have way too many plants to plant in my yard. I'll be like throwing them on neighbors' yards and running away, ringing their doorbell. But I'm sure there's somebody that would like the heirlooms. Okay, so 5 done. That's pretty simple, right? Yeah. So you can see up in there, it's a little. Putting them over here. Now you would probably think that all these that I have now planted up is probably enough for any normal person in a garden. But nope, not me. I have all different likes. I like the slicers. My husband likes cherry tomatoes. And I like canners. I'm all about the canners. Turning, you know, with the hearts, the ox hearts and the pastes and the all of that, so I can can. I'm going to be much better with my canning this year, and be sure to use everything, because the last time I canned so much, and then I got in that mindset of having to save it for, you know, a bad situation, that I let some of it ruin, and I feel really bad about that, because we put a lot of work into it, and I just let things ruin. I was not a good, I just wasn't good with it. Okay, what's the next one I'm going to do? Okay. I'm going to do, let me see which one this was. Carol, C-H-Y-L-E, I can't see that. Her big paste. Carol Chinkles big paste. I'll have to look at my seed pack and see which one, how to pronounce it. Going to get more cups. I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 or 7. 7. Wow. I don't think I have enough soil made yet. Okay, so boring part, just filling up cups with soil, just going on and going on. I can't believe there was 7 seeds in that one pocket. I tried to limit it to like 4 to 6. I guess the 7th one wanted to get in there, or it multiplied itself extremely, extremely. So here I go again, and boy, does this smell like garden to me. The roots have a nice, I don't know how to explain the scent. Once I pull them out, they just smell like great tomato plants. Let's see how many I can get out of here, out of this big chunk without destroying. There's the taproot. Okay. I feel like if I just hold my mouth just right, I'll be able to save most of them. Like I said, the reason I planted so many in one packet is the fact that the seeds were so old that I didn't think very many would survive. I mean, I've planted old seeds before, but these are the same seeds that I planted last time that were old. So they're really old this time. Shoot, I have a cat that's 20 years old. He's running around the house like a crazy guy. Carmel's sitting underneath the camera, just sitting watching me work. Probably thinking she wished she could play with all these. So if you watch some of my other videos, you'll know I'm also a potter. So I'm taking the next month, this next month, to make all kinds of planters to grow in, all different sizes and shapes. And I'll pull a couple of those out at the end so you can see they're still drying. Haven't gone through the first fire yet, so they could survive or not survive. But that's the last couple that I've made. I'm going to work on some more tonight. So I think I'm going to try to make a couple square ones and then call it a night since my body's done for. But, okay, so there's 7 more plants that can go in the garden. It'll only take them a few days to recover from the shock of me doing this transplant. And then they'll be growing roots out from the stalk. And I'm going to have oodles and oodles of plants. This is only 3 varieties now. And I'm going to show you, move you over so you can see what that looks like. So you can imagine all of these plants, all of those plants going to 10 foot or so and filling out. So that's going to take up a lot of space. Anyway, so there's that. Give me a few minutes and I will come back and I will show you my planters, and then we'll call this a done deal for tonight. So I told you that I was going to show you some pots I made. These are going to have flowers in them. These 2 are. So I made this little free form. I put the hole right there so it could have some drainage on the outside. I'm going to make a little plate to put underneath it to go with it. But I thought it was pretty cute. It has little curly cues up the side, kind of like tendrils from plants, was my thought. And then I made a fairy house planter. Now I'm going to make some of these on a bigger scale too. But little door, have a little window there, little mushroom with the drainage hole going into its own freeform plate. So, and then the back door, I'm going to grow, like I said, some flowers in that to make it look like a little fairy house planter. So I'm going to be making a lot more of these, and they're going to be a lot bigger too. A lot bigger around, a lot bigger. This is just my first prototype. And if I can ever get the weather to cooperate, I'm going to be firing up my kiln hopefully next week with some of them, not the newest. But anyway, so that's the grand adventure for tonight. And I didn't show cooking my chicken and dumplings because I was just pooped out when I was doing it. But I'll do that the next time I cook, which will be probably Saturday night or Sunday night, something like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're still with me, thank you so much. And please subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the fun stuff that goes on with that. I'm a very hard worker, and I'm doing this mostly for me to remember how this garden year went. We've had a hard time for the last several years. And so during those hard times, I just didn't have any energy to garden. Lots of problems with my middle child that just was just devastating and draining. And anyway, so this year I decided, you know what, I'm not going to let all of that stuff affect me as badly this year. I know it's going to be stressful, but if I just sit and stew on things, it won't be as bad if I'm actually doing something outside of work, like the gardening and this, adding this in, and then I have my pottery channel as well. So I'm trying to keep busy, to keep upbeat, and to reduce my stress, and to actually get back into some stuff that I believe in, which is being prepared as much as you can. And, you know, not being scared about things, but I just see how expensive everything is now. And I'm trying to make sure that we can have fresh vegetables that don't have all the pesticides and the herbicides and all that stuff on them. Be better for our body. And as a nurse, I know that. Just doing it is another, because who can afford going to the store and buying organic vegetables all the time? You can't afford that. I mean, I make decent money and I can't afford it. So I don't know how people that live on half the income that I do can do it. Anyway, so I'm going to encourage you, pick up a plant, put it outside, put it in a bucket with some soil. If you only have one, don't put an indeterminate tomato in that little bucket though, because that's not going to be good. But maybe a pepper. You'll have to hold it up some, but maybe put a pepper out there. Put a zucchini. Those things grow like crazy. Just do a plant. Do 2 or 3. But if you've never planted before, get a couple of them and just go out there and do it. You can do this. My first year was terrible. I had terrible soil. I just threw a bunch of stuff in, but I didn't give it any time to just get into the soil. It was all sand and it was hot and it was baked and it had burnt wood on it from the building of the house. Then I ordered my seeds in May, which in our area we start growing in, oh my gosh, like I start planting my seeds in January and February. So it took like another 6 weeks for them to grow. So the fact that I got anything out of that garden was amazing. And so I got my pineapple tomatoes in some Italian tomato tree tomatoes. And those just really did well. Even a black creme. I remember getting a black creme on that. Tomato hornworm got the black creme too when I was going to try to save seeds. So even though I'm a lover of animals and bugs, I tried to contain my temper, but the neighbors walked by and saw me hacking a tomato hornworm with a hatchet on the side of the house because I was so mad it ate my tomato because I worked so hard on that thing. Anyway, I haven't lost my temper since and haven't hacked anything up since. And anyway, hopefully not this year either. Okay, so we're calling it a night finally. Thank you for watching and have a great morning when you watch this, maybe evening. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.